Yeah. Okay, everybody. So today we're going to review the parasha. In this week's parasha, we have the parasha of Balak, and so we're going to speak a little bit who was Balak, what was he doing, and what lessons can we learn from him. So first of all, we have to know that Balak he was the king of Midian, right? And then he went to Moab, and they hired him so he can become the leader of Moab. Then he can go and curse the Jewish people. And destroy the Jewish people. And we learned something. We learned that when you have two dogs barking and fighting each other, Rashi brings when you have two dogs barking, who do you go? Who do you go to? If you have a wolf that comes against you, you combine, you get your forces together. So for years they've been fighting together in Midian and Moab. All of a sudden now they're coming after. Now they're scared of the Jewish people, so they unite forces. So what does he decide to do? He decides to go and ask Bilam. You hear that Bilam was a big prophet amongst the Goyim, and he asked him to go and curse the Jewish people. And Bilam, he thought, why did he think like that? Because we know that Bilam, by the Goyim, it's always by the sword. By the Jews, is by the mouth. So they thought, Bilam, he went and he asked, what's so special about the Jewish people? So he said, this Moshe Rabbeinu, who was in Midian, he's the one who uses his mouth. So he davens to Hashem, and Hashem answers him. So he's not the same thing. Instead of using our mouth to bless them, we're going to curse them. And Bezat Hashem, they're going to be able to go and defeat the Jewish people. So we have to know that Bilam, so Balak, he went and he hired Bilam to go and curse the Jewish people. We have to know that Hashem doesn't speak to anybody. Right? Last time I checked, I don't think anybody here ever spoke with Hashem. So we have to know that Bilam was someone that was very big and very important. And and it says he was very wise, and he believed in Hashem. But now we have to look. Why did he have a downfall? So if we look in the verses in the parasha, it says that that when Balak he wanted Bilam to go and curse the Jewish people, who did he send to him? He sent him a first wave of malachim, and then he said, "Whatever Hashem tells me to do, this is what I'm going to do." Okay, and then we see after he sent a second wave of people, princes, nobles. Now the question is, this time when Bilam said, "What do I do?" Hashem said, "You should go, but tell them what I'm going to tell you to say to them. Like whatever I tell you to say, this is what you're going to say." ויבוא אלוהים אל בלעם ויאמר מי האנשים האלה עמך? And then he went on, להטותם בו אמר פעמים שאין הכל כלול לפניו, אין דעתו שווה עליו, אף אני אראה עת שאוכל לקלל ולא יביא. So Bilam, he understood. He said, "Wow, Hashem, he asked me, who are those people that came to see you the second time? Oh, if Hashem asked me, that means he doesn't know who these people are. And since Hashem doesn't know who these people are, maybe I can have it my way to curse the Jewish people." So now we have a very big question. What is the question? How could Hashem not know? He knew. But it's like it's the same thing with here. The Rashi says that he wanted to trick him, or he wanted to go and it says, "B'derech Adam rotzeh leilech, molichin oto." And therefore, what does this mean? A way that a person wants to go, he's being led in this direction. So this, we're going to see, this was really the problem with Bilam. The problem with him was the first time Hashem told him, "You cannot go. Don't do anything there." Then the second time he asked again. "Oh, you asked again? Now we're going to give you a door. You can go. But when you go, make sure that you only say good things." And then when he's on his way, he's on his donkey. Hashem sends an angel in front of the donkey, and he cannot move. He cannot go anywhere. And then it says that he hit his donkey 3 times. And it says there was actually a miracle there, that his donkey started speaking with him. And the Gemara says that one of the miracles of the world was that Hashem made it that his donkey spoke with him, and he told him, "I was good with you my whole life. Why are you hitting me?" And it says that there was an angel that was standing in front of them. The donkey told him? Yeah, the donkey told him, "There's an angel. Don't you see there's an angel?" And Hashem, he revealed the eyes of Bilam, and he saw there was an angel.
This is there's 10 things that Hashem creates when He created the world. One was the mouth of the donkey.
For this donkey specifically, it was a very big miracle because Hashem made it. He changed the nature for Bilam to understand not to go. Now Bilam,
why couldn't he just tell Bilam or do it different way or something, or need to do with the donkey?
Because you have to tell him that if the donkey himself, he understands not to go, then you also need to understand that he was no better than his donkey. But just to say something very important is that Bilam, he saw that. He saw there was an angel. And what did he do? He continued on his way. So we see that we have a big question here. Why did Hashem let him go, walk there, take his donkey, go in all places? We're going to see later that he cursed him in he cursed the Jewish people in 3 different places.
Well, what should he have done?
No, why did Hashem let him do that? He should have maybe stopped him on the way, make him sick. Why does he let him do that? So we have to know that this rule applies at all times. And what is the rule? Is and therefore, if a person wants to do something bad, then Hashem will help him to do this thing that is bad.
This world is
It's
free will.
special. Yes.
Hashem wants to give you the chance
To do good or to
to
do
do
bad?
good.
But he's not going to encourage you to yes or hard to do.
No, if you want to do something bad, he
Yeah.
will help you to do the bad thing.
Even if it's an avera.
Give it Avaida. Why? Because if you're not doing the Avaida, then you're going to get rewarded for it. So he wants to make it in a way
And it should be a test.
it should be a test.
Very good. But it's a very important principle. Because if you say that the person, if he wants to do an avera, he's not gonna be able to do it. Let's say he wants to go do an avera now with the
Hashem
shiksa.
could just stay out of it.
No, but there's no.
He's encouraging him to continue.
No, because it goes either way. Because look, the guy is breathing. The guy is having all the responsibilities. He's able to breathe. He's able to eat. He has money. So Hashem should shut down his bank account.
He asked a good question. If a man do a sin, it's because Hashem wants him to do a sin.
You're saying Hashem is encouraging the avera.
Encourage him. So in other words, the man he can't not do the sin.
No.
But Hashem give him the things to do the
No,
sin.
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that what does this mean? That if a person chooses that HaKadosh Baruch Hu,
Every person has a Yatzer Hara what wants to do bad things.
All the time, all day long.
That's in the nature.
no, but it's not true what you're
It's a
saying.
fight all the
Because
time. All between the good.
but it's a fight all the time. But as long as you fight, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give you. Let's say now you want to go do a mitzvah.
Let's say I want to do an avera.
So,
I want to go do something bad.
Yeah. So Hashem, what will he do? No, wait. No. So Jeremy, you went 10 steps ahead with your question.
No, because you said.
Okay, so let's see.
What mean molichin also?
What?
What mean molichin?
Okay, so let's see here with Bilam. What did Bilam want? He wanted to make lots of money, right? He wanted to have fame, have lots of money, everyone bows unto him. But the first time what happened? What did Hashem tell him? The first time Hashem told him, don't go with them. It's asur to go with them. Then the second time, what did he do? Jeremy, the second time, what did he do? The second time, he was on his donkey, and then Hashem sent an angel. If you would go back home, now he'd be good.
No, he still went through.
They still went through. And then the first time he went to curse the Jewish people, it turned into a blessing. Then Balak said, maybe if I change places, because now there's too many Jews here. Right? And there's a blessing. You know that when the Jewish people were in modesty, it says that there was no tents that was facing each other. What does this mean? This means there's no pritzu, there's no immorality, there's none of this. All the women are nice, Tzniut with their husband, and there's nothing, no monkey business. So no monkey business, Baruch Hashem, he was not able. Whatever came out of his mouth was a blessing. Then what did he do?
Every morning.
Right, and then the next,
From a goy.
from a goy, from Bilam. And then the next thing, he goes to another spot. 3 times he goes to 3 different spots to curse the Jewish people. And the 3 times he blesses us. So really, you have a great question. What, Hashem's going to help him go on Avera? No, he's not going to help you. First of all, he's going to send you ways not to do the Avera. However, when a person really wants to do something, Hashem cannot block him from doing it. Why? Because if he blocks him from doing it, then you lose the whole purpose of creation. Because the whole purpose of creation is that you have bechira. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu made us as robots, so you have to go, Baruch Hashem, with AI, with all the technology today, you can have 500 robots that are going to read and learn, do everything much better than us. You put them in the kollel all day and you're good, right? You put a good investment, I don't know, you put a few $100,000 and you're good. So why don't we do that? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't care about the actual action, meaning that if there's no heart that's put in with the action, if there's no intention with the action, then it's not worth much. And therefore, a person has the bechira. And when a person will pay to do something good, to do a mitzvah instead of doing an avera, then he has a reward for it. If a person is being forced left or right, why do you have to punish anybody? And therefore, that's why it's nothing. But the same way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send a person opportunities. You want to be good. You're going to do an avera. Hashem's going to try to help him. If he's going to send him, a flat tire. He's going to send him this and that. However, the more a person is going to get used to want to do something bad, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will actually help him for him to be able to do something bad. Because if you want it in a way or not, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu would send him, let's say, a heart attack, would it make him sick, would make him a cripple, then he cannot do his avera. So in a way, Hashem is helping him. Because this is one of the principles Hashem made in the world. So this is what we see with Bilam. And we have a big issue here. Because we see that right after the first time, Hashem told him, you have to go. So if you just look at the verses, you think there's no problem. Hashem told him to go now. Before he said not to go, now Hashem changed his mind, said to go. It's not that he changed his mind. It's that if you have a desire to do something bad, and you continue, then you're going to be able to go do something bad. And if you want to do something good, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send you many opportunities. He's going to send you Jojo's Pizza. He's going to send you a kollel here, a shiur there. He's going to send you a Chabad house if they need something. So you'll have many opportunities to do mitzvot. But if Hashem, it can also be the opposite. We have a very important saying. It says, Balitaer Mesain lo. Someone who comes to purify himself, he gets help from heaven. And it says that there's 24 types of people that they don't get this help. So meaning that everyone can do teshuvah. However, if a person gets into this category, hopefully we're going to read it in the Rambam, is if a person gets into this category, now he's going to try to come to the shiur to Jojo's Pizza, boom, he gets pulled over by the police, $500 fine. He wants to go do a mitzvah and he invites everybody and something happens, he cannot go. He wants to do whatever he tries to do, roadblocks. And you're going to see this in life. Sometimes you're going to see while I'm doing something good, Hashem's just going to align it, make it all beautiful, nice and smooth. Everything falls into place. You need a loan, you need a mortgage, and this one, you need like 1,000 things to go perfectly well. And Hashem does it for you. And not only He does it for us, He does it over and over and over again. But us, we just have to see. We have to put on the proper glasses to be able to see. And there was a question, they asked, why did Hashem create so many trees, so many types of food, so many things? So it says that the whole world, everything in Cruelty is written, that Hashem created everything, because everything is a demonstration of Hashem. Because whenever you see something, you understand. If you use your head a little bit, you're able to understand where does this object come from? Where do these tables come from? Where did this food come from? And then you're always able to have Havana and understanding of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like we say, that there is no time. We say there is no creation without a creator, and there is nothing that's made without a purpose. And therefore, you have to go and think, what is the purpose of this pizza? What is this purpose? And then it goes to the great question: what is my purpose? What am I doing in this world? Am I here to rack in money? Am I here to behave like a monkey? If I want to be, have a nice life, can be a monkey jumping on the have no mortgage or nothing. Wow, life is great. If my life is to go and eat good food, so you have to see, what is my purpose? Is my life is to travel? Why is it half the world to travel back? You travel there. It's like in this expression, Rabbi Yudhila says that there's this whole illusion of vacation. It says half of the world goes to let's say to Miami, and the other half they leave Miami. These people, they think paradise is in Canada, and these people think paradise is in Miami.
Good for tourism.
Yeah, good for tourism. So this is a very, very important idea. Another idea I wanted to go and share with you guys was the very good. It was about Tzar Balechayim. So we have this concept of Tzar Balechayim, and Tzar Balechayim is that about animals. You have to be careful not to hurt animals. As well, a very, very big lesson from there. It says that Bilam hit his animal 3 times.
So no hunting.
In general, we said this is the craft of Esav, but it's not assumed per se to hunt if you have a use for it. So,
But you can't check the meat afterwards.
no, so it doesn't fall. If you have a purpose for it, it doesn't fall in Tzar Balechayim. Like, but it has to do with your
Purpose
intention.
means what? Let's say a guy goes out to
There's a wild animal that kills people in the village. It's
Oh, for sports.
the chicken that appears because they need to eat meat.
Yes.
So,
No, but also
or if there's like
you
rodents,
can-
you know, go to
Go in a hut. Yeah.
shoot animals.
Like the Michigan.
no, but you're right. But also it depends. If let's say you're going to use it, let's say it's for things like that, then things are different. But if you have no purpose,
you
you
can
just
do it for the fur, or you can't.
yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it for
Strictly
no
for
reason,
fun.
just for fun because it's a
Just
sport
for
for
the
you,
sport,
then for
it's
sure
not.
it's asur. Of course, there's no
Skeet
purpose.
shooting where they do birds and all this stuff.
Yeah, this is just it's horrible. I don't even know how people have this as a sport to go and kill animals just like that. It's crazy. So imagine how far the Torah goes for Tzal Bali Chaim. Listen to this, you're gonna like that. Chaim. So it says Tzal Bali Chaim. This is brought from Sefer Chassidim. In Tzal Bali Chaim, it says that Bilam he hit his animal 3 times. And what did he say? He said, "If only I had a sword, I would shecht you right away." That's what he said to his animal. So it says that Bilam at the end he was punished midah keneged midah. That he said, "I want to shecht you. I want to shecht you." When the animal didn't do anything wrong. It said that he was shechted after. It says that a person has to be very careful with animals. That if an animal now is, let's say you're riding an animal, now it's not going fast enough or something, and you just hit it. So you have to be very careful with this. Why?
For a horse.
Yeah, you want to hit, you want to do. It says this falls in Tzal Bali Chaim. When are you allowed to go and hit or push it? When there is no reason for it to be stopped. But if you know now the animal is hungry, you know that the animal. It says if you see your animal's friend, right? If you see that it's your friend's donkey and there's too much weight on it, it cannot walk properly. They said you have to go and help. You have to go and remove the like we learned. You have to remove you have to remove all the loads from the animal. Why? Because you have to help your friend's animal. From Mishon Tzal Bali Chaim. So what do we learn from there? We learn that if a person is not going to be careful and he's going to go and he's going to hit this animal without, and when the animal has a reason, he's hungry, he's tired, he cannot do it, then this falls in Tzal Bali Chaim. And this falls in everywhere in life. If you see if someone is down or someone that has a certain reason why he's in this situation, and you go and you put him down or you push him or you do something like that, then you fall also in this. You also fall in this issue. Something very interesting that we learn also in this parasha is that there's all the here the Rambam brings that there's the Rambam brings that the times of Mashiach are described here in Bilam. That he said that so Bilam he goes and he brings he brings a whole different verses of how the times of Mashiach will come. And the Rambam says that anyone who does not believe and wait for the Mashiach to come, he's a kofar b'hikar. He does not believe in Torah. So we have clear verses and proof, and it came from the mouth of Bilam that all the curses that he wanted to see became blessings. Now, unfortunately, by the end of the parasha, what do we see? We see that Bilam was not successful. So what did he do? He sent the girls, and it says that when he left, what did he do? But he sent the girls of Moab, Midian. He sent the girls to go and do Tzniut. To go and do Tzniut with the Jewish people, to go do all kinds of immorality. It says that the person will go, right? So it says that a person will go and will look at the woman, will go through her, and she will bring him to go and do Avodah Zarah. So what did he do? He sent the girls, they started doing all kinds of Avirot, and they brought them to do Avodah Zarah. And it says 24,000 Jews died from a pandemic there. So I don't understand. Bilam came to curse the Jewish people. Everything came into blessings, and nothing happened to the Jewish people. But the second that he sent the girls to go and do Avirot with them,
They took care of business.
they took care of business. So we have to understand how we have to be careful and make ourselves many barriers for anything that touches immorality, anything that touches chitzut. You know, many times you think to yourself, all these stories, the rabbis, going in yichud, there's a lot of halachot. You're not allowed to be secluded with a woman in a room. Let's say you have an office.
The doors can be open.
Yeah, the door's open, but let's say now you have an office now, and whatever you have a girl that comes in and you close the door, but no one comes in your office.
It can be a Jewish girl or it can be
No, Jewish, not Jewish. So a person is secluded with her. He just did, according to many opinions, issur from the Torah. Now, even if she was single, according to many opinions, is issur with the Rabbanan. So now you're gonna tell me what? Really? Well, the rabbis and the wow, you guys are too strict. What are you guys doing here?
What if there's glass in the office?
Yeah, so if there's glass, there's no problem. If also it's open, people can come in and out, no problem. There's also no problem. But you have to be so careful. You know, how many people think they're so smart? So let's say a person has his wife. She goes, she kisses everybody, she hugs everybody. Oh, look at my friend, look at this. And everyone thinks, oh no, all the troubles is for them. It doesn't happen to me. No, so, yeah, but not only this. No, but I'm saying that what does this lead to? Why does the Torah tell you have to be careful with yichud? You have to be careful not to be secluded with a woman that's not yours. What does the Torah tell you? You have to be careful with Shema Negiyah. What does the Torah tell you? You have to be careful not to be too lightheaded, not to be lightheaded with not to be. It's okay.
Yeah,
So
I saw it fall.
Not gonna happen.
no, it's okay. So not to be lightheaded. What do you need all these things? So it tells you the Torah to be careful. A person always thinks he knows better. It says Shlomo HaMelech, he married 1,000 women. Okay? He had 700 concubines and 300 wives.
Okay, that's not a problem.
It's a problem.
Immorality?
No.
After having 1,000 wives, Shlomo HaMelech said, "Havalavu lavu matela." Everything in this world is handled. After
Still
1,000,
wrote the whole Tehillim.
No, because he wrote, it was a small David. But he wrote Kohelet. But he wrote Kohelet. What is Kohelet? And that's the proof, Whenever you try to be, you think yourself like, oh, we're going to be haughty, we make money, we do this, that. You meet Shlomo HaMelech and he puts you in your place like no one before. Why? It says in the time of Shlomo HaMelech, they were so rich that the stones in Yerushalayim were made out of silver. There were no stones. What stones do you have? I want the silver ones. Not like bricks like that. Why? Because they were so rich. So he built the Bet HaMikdash. He had 1,000 women. He had the most money. It was the best time of the Jewish people ever. There was no better time for the Jewish people than the time of Shlomo HaMelech. He had 1,000 women because he had connections with all the cities, everyone around. There was no wars in this time. However,
he can't handle one. How can he handle?
very good. No, but but what does he say at the end in Kohelet? Is all this is nothing. So he said, what is the worth of this? You have women, you have this. He said, even money, even children. He said, from the children, I give them all this money. What do I know after 2-3 generations? What will we do with this money? He said, my great-grandchildren don't even know my name. So he was saying all these things that really, what is the purpose of life? At the end, what does he say?
He had a lot of kids?
Yeah, he had lots of kids. He had everything.
With all the 1,000 women?
No, not 1,000 women, but he was married.
How many kids does Shlomo HaMelech have?
I'm not sure. But what I do know,
Must be a lot.
but what I do know, it says that, because the Torah tells you can only marry 18 women.
How many?
18.
The number?
No, not for regular people. For the kings. The kings are allowed 18. The Rambam brings 18 women. So we asked Shlomo HaMelech, you might get 1,000. So we said, how do you have 1,000? So really it says that Shlomo HaMelech thought that we will be able to outsmart the system. He said, you're right. 1,000 is to a regular person, but me, I'm the wisest person, Shlomo HaMelech. So therefore, Shlomo HaMelech, he thought that it wouldn't affect him. But now what do we learn from Shlomo HaMelech? We learn that we cannot start making calculations with the Torah. Oh, yichud, it's not so important. Oh, this is okay. Oh, my wife is hugging everybody, is okay. Oh, me, I have a girlfriend, I text her here and there. So nothing is okay. No, not even girlfriend. Say a friend from work, office work. So the problem is that a person wants to think that he's so high above, but Chas v'Shalom is really able to fall very low. And nothing happens from one day to another. You don't wake up one day, oh, today I'm going to be a Rasha. Today I'm going to do an Avera. It's slowly. How are you? Everything's okay. Your wife doesn't treat you well, And then that's how things are going. And then a person, he finds himself, he lost everything. He lost everything in this world, and he lost everything in the next world. So we learn also. We learn this from Shlomo HaMelech, and we learn this from Bilam, that a person has to put barriers to be able not to fall. Bilam, if you would listen to Hashem, you cannot curse the Jewish people. Okay, I cannot curse. That's it. But you always find a way. Maybe I'm not going to curse. I'm going to bless them. Hashem said, don't worry, you don't need to bless them. They're already blessed. No, it's okay. I'm going to try. And then he went. He didn't listen to the signs. And after it was his downfall. And that's what we see at the end with the Jews who fell in Shittim. They did the averot with the girls, and it led them to go do to go do avodah zarah. And it led to a terrible pandemic until when? When did it stop? With Pinchas. You know the story of Pinchas? Pinchas Kenai. What did he do? He went. There was one ahead of the Shevet of Shimon. He went and he had relations with a Goya, and in front of everybody. Zimri ben Salu. Yeah, the Nazi. Yeah, the Zimri ben Salu.
One of the holy rabbis was doing it. Pinchas was coming with a gun.
No, with a spear.
With a spear, he was going to the behind of Zimri.
Zimri is who? God?
To the Nusi.
No, so there were Zimri ben Salu and Kozi Batzur. So Zimri ben Salu was one of the chief rabbis. Okay, and you have Kozi Batzur. She was a princess of Midian.
So he catch them right hand
Together.
Yeah, he was.
All they were together.
Yes.
He took
One
spear. And he killed them.
One shot.
One.
So that's why he's gonna become quite good.
So very good. So
the Torah is very interesting.
So what happens?
A lot of adventures.
Yeah, but listen. So what happens now? So you have Zimri. So you have Pinchas. You have Pinchas that went and killed.
Don't argue with him, okay? You don't have to argue with him.
Whoa.
So Pinchas, what did he do? What did Pinchas do? He went and he killed them. You have to know Pinchas was the grandson of who? Aaron HaKohen. So I have a big question. Why? You tell me now, the next parasha you're going to see, he became Kohen Gadol. Hashem, he nominated him. The second he killed them. So the second he killed them, you know what happened?
I thought he was a Levi.
No, he was from Aaron. He was the grandson of Aaron. So the second he killed them, you know what happened? HaKadosh Baruch Hu ended the pandemic. No more pandemic. Not only ended the pandemic, now everyone wanted to kill Pinchas. I don't understand here. You start making a case by yourself, a judgment. We never have this in the Torah. There's no such thing. You want to kill someone. You have a bedin. You have witnesses for everything. Somebody he smokes on Shabbat. You don't go and do anything to him. You have two witnesses tell him, it's a very horrible sin. What are you going to do? And then they warn him, this is a death penalty you're going to get. And the guy says, I don't care. The same second he smoked. But if not, 10 minutes later he smoked, we don't do anything to him. So all of a sudden here we became the jungle. First come, first serve. So it says here it was different. Because here there was a public Chilul Hashem. And it says the Torah, the Rambam brings.
Because a big guy did it.
In front of everybody. You wanted to talk to the girl in front of everyone. I do what I want.
Why did he do it?
Because you wanted to show I do what I want. I wanted to show that. Yeah, it was arrogant. I'm the chief of the Shema. He wanted to do the Avera. He didn't have a busha. And everyone that watches, that's what we said last week.
And Pinchas couldn't handle it.
No, Pinchas said, how can someone do this to Hashem? It wasn't for him.
Pinchas took the thing is, he did a gamble because he was all the people from Zimri.
Shimon.
He have from Zimri.
Shimon, yeah, but the tribe of Shimon.
So he have a lot of followers.
So he could have been taken over.
So he took a big gamble when I did it because he was burning in there. He can't control himself.
Watch this, right?
Couldn't watch this. He doesn't care.
Yeah, but what did he say? He said it was a knai for Hashem. What's a knai? He said, I don't care what people think. Yes. I don't care what people say. They're going to make fun of me because I'm Jewish and I keep the Torah. I don't care. I do it. And I go the full way. I'm not going to give a discount.
But how many times do you see that someone murders
No, but for this case, no, you're right. But for this case, it was specific, and that's why it says that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know what to do. So it says that when Pinchas went and he asked, it says that if you have to ask, that means you can't do it. It's just on the moment. But this is specific to this halacha.
Did he get punished?
Of course not. Not only did he get punished,
he
became Kohen, and not only became a Kohen, he was born. He was the grandson of Aaron. But before Aaron became the Kohen Gadol. And before he became the Kohen Gadol, Hashem said, "You and your sons that will come after you will be you and your sons will be the Kohanim." But all the grandchildren weren't Kohen Gadol. You understand? It only came after he was anointed to be the Kohen Gadol. So what happened was that Pinchas, even though he wasn't supposed to be Kohen Gadol, he became a Kohen Gadol. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says,
let me ask you.
Yes.
So So everyone is entitled, when you see somebody is doing something wrong in your eyes, you're entitled to take action yourself.
No, of course not. The Rambam is bozek Halacha. It's only in this specific case that you're able to go and take the law in your own hands. There's no in this case.
But when you're gonna see a grand rabbi,
A guy's doing a big affair.
yeah, he didn't see in the street.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Can
see,
you stop
let's
him?
say, a big grand rabbi. He's getting crazy. He's doing something that he does.
Yeah, but
he
so
took a woman and he
so
So
lemaaseh.
you are allowed to go and kill
No,
it?
so let me answer you. So lemaaseh, the same way that it's difficult to put someone to death for any avirot with the bedding. No, but even you had the bedding, you had everything. It's very hard. It says even in 70 years, they would never put anyone to death because it's so easy to go and counter the argument. What color was the pizza? What slice of pizza did the guy eat? What flavor? Was it Greek or margarita? Okay, and then
But Pinchas did it right away.
no, so he didn't just do it right away. It says that if a person goes and asks the bedding tells him not to do it. If a person goes and does it, but he gets killed by the guy who's doing the avera, it's his problem. You can't do anything wrong because you're a rotzeh. You're the one who's going to kill someone, so someone can defend himself. So even if he was really chayav for that, we don't care because he was only defending himself. So he wanted to do a mitzvah and he got killed, and that's his problem. So we see, and also it says that we don't teach anybody like that. So this is just we know from this thing. But if someone comes to the bed and says, "What do we do with this person?" No one is allowed to tell them what to do. Understand? Because this came specifically for him, and that he knew what to do. Because he saw there was a chilul Hashem, and since he did it l'shem shamayim, there's also something else. If let's say now you see it's your enemy, so you're
You don't
dancing.
think he had a hidden agenda? He didn't want to be the.
Of course not.
He didn't want to be anything.
No, of course not.
He didn't
wasn't
know
thinking
not
what's
only-
going to happen.
He
No,
didn't
but
know
not
before
only
he's
that.
going to get
Wasn't
that.
good for himself.
No, but not only that. That if he would have done that, then he would have been killed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made him because he had no intention, bad intention.
It was strictly because he couldn't handle it.
Yeah, he couldn't handle it.
Because
That
he did it
people
in a way like
are
that.
desecrating the name of Hashem in public like that. He said this doesn't work. So now let's go back to the messages that we have in this week's parasha from Bilam. B'derech she'adam rotzeh leilech molichin oto. In the Torah, in the Nevim and Ketuvim, it says when a person wants to do something good, Hashem is going to help him and push him to do something good. So wants to do something bad, Hashem is not going to push him right away. But if a person wants and he really goes and he goes out of his way, then you also get help to do something bad. And therefore, we have to take the lesson from here and not be like Bilam. And when we see one warning, we don't have to see the warning. But if let's say we see one warning, we already take it into action. And the second,
directions.
what?
And change there and go back.
Yeah, and go back and not go back and understand that this is a warning from Hashem. Many times you're going to see a warning.
But
And
some people are blind to that. No?
yeah, but that's why you have to put the right glasses. The second thing we have to learn is at the end, and then Bilam he went, instead of cursing us, it was only blessings. And we saw Matavu Alecha. We talked about the tents being modest, how modesty is important.
The way it was set up.
Everything was set up nicely. And we learned also from there that a person has to put boundaries so that he doesn't fall into the avera. What are the boundaries? Because we see at the end of the parasha, how did they get killed? Because of the pritzut. That the woman, once the woman, she does what she wants, then everything, avodah zarah, everything is permitted. Yeah, 24,000 Jews died. So what do we learn from there? We learn that a person has to put barriers. And he cannot think, oh, I'm smarter, don't worry. This happens to the whole world, not to me. So he has to do careful about Shomar Negiah. He has to be careful about Yichud. He has to be careful about all these halachot, so he should never fall, him or his wife, to ever fall into those horrible things. And Hashem destroy their lives, destroy their marriages. And the last thing we learned from Pinchas, that Pinchas went and he fought for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the most important is, if someone really cares about Hashem, is that he doesn't have to go and kill anybody. But here we're talking about he has to go and stand up for the Torah, not to be afraid, to put his kippah, to eat kosher, to do everything good.
Like the Satmar people.
Very good, like the Satmar people. So on this note,
And the
Mazal
animals
Tov.
and cruelty to
Oh,
animals.
Chazak, and one more thing,
Tzar
very good
B'chaim.
and very important,
Tzar
Tzar B'chaim. And also it's a kal v'chomer. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so careful about animals, they should not hurt them, you should not do damage for
More so
them,
for a person.
all the more so for a person. And one very nice chidush, you can use the Shabbat table. The question is, why do we cover the challah?
Yeah.
Why? And the famous answer, and this is actually the halacha,
Because
it says because
you're doing Kiddush
the
first.
challah, the
You
challah,
make Kiddush fair.
First, and you don't want them to be
You want
insulted.
them should be
insulted.
Why?
very good. But now I have a big problem, Jeremy. What's the problem? Yosef, what's my big problem? Go tell me.
I'm not sure.
Because if you
You have here. This is my grape juice, right? This is the
Like,
grape
it's
juice.
okay.
Okay,
You
and
make
this
cover the
is
pizza,
my
huh?
motzi. What does it change if I cover or I don't cover the pizza? What really is my challah is going to start crying? You understand what I'm saying? So Rabbi Vidimili brings an answer for this. He says, really, it's true. The bracha comes first on the motzi, and therefore it's not proper to make a bracha on the motzi, which is more important, to make bracha on wine rather than the motzi. But he said,
why is that motzi first?
because it's the most important food, that this is what you can live from. It's the number
So then
one.
why don't they switch it? Why do the kiddush after the motzi?
Because when you mekadesh the day with wine, the Chachamim they were metaken
Make the kiddush
to
shul
make
then.
that you should what?
He asked a good question.
No, but it's a problem because to do like you need to have the bread covered on the
It
table.
has to
do
be
it.
kiddush v'mukum sida. That's mean you have to make kiddush.
Where the
first.
table that you're going to eat.
Yeah, and the bread has to be on the table.
Because it has to be right away after.
Okay.
After you make kiddush, it has to be the kiddush
No.
has to be.
People don't make
Yeah, but no.
kiddush.
But his question is, why don't you just do motzi and then you do make a geffen?
Because if you do motzi,
you're not allowed to eat
then
before kiddush.
Yeah, but
You're not allowed
no,
to-
because the Chachamim were metaken that you have to make kiddush
Before
on
you
wine,
see that.
and since you have to do kiddush on wine, then that's why you have to first be
The same
mekadesh,
thing
then you
like
can start
Abdullah.
eating.
You're not allowed to eat after Shabbat before you make Abdullah. You make Abdullah, then you eat the same thing. When Shabbat's come, you have to make
eat
kiddush.
before the Shabbat.
But
and
also,
then
if you
but
do-
these are interesting.
if you eat bread, then you don't need to pray like on the wine. You could just drink it straight.
no, what
No,
You
but
know what I
even
mean?
the wine
Rabbi
is.
Yosef said.
you
No, but I'm
still
saying
have
like
to-
in general, you know, when you do like a
Sure.
motzi, then you could eat whatever, you
But
can drink whatever, and you don't have to do like a bracha.
it's not because if you don't have wine, let's say you are now tell there's only yain nefer. So how do you make kiddush? So you can
You're
make
in a
kiddush
hotel?
of the bread. You say kiddush of the bread and you're yotzeh.
So it's Yom HaShishi.
If you don't have wine,
Amotzi lechem min haaretz,
you say
baruch atah Hashem
that's
mekadesh Shabbat.
Shabbos. So you have
You don't have
you
wine.
can make kiddush on the bread on the challah if you don't have wine.
It has to be can make someone another drink and a mushroom.
No drink. Kiddush has nothing to do with drink. Kiddush is you have to
So only Yom HaShishi bracha can
you
make
know
it on this.
Mina Torah, you do kiddush and you daven the shmanet.
In shul
You
still.
say Kaddish Shabbat.
Yes.
How do you make kiddush in Kippur when you're not eating? You say the tefillah from Shabbat. This is kiddush.
Okay.
But if you don't have wine, you can make kiddush on the bread.
If you only have a piece of challah.
Yeah, you make kiddush on the bread.
And then hamotzi again also on the same challah?
Yeah.
Two brachas.
So
No,
it's stands of
You
no.
say Amotzi and
You
then
don't
it's
say
like that,
you
you
don't
say
say
Amotzi.
boy priya gufa.
You say
You
nothing.
say amotzi leilech min
Amotzi
udas
leilech
mit the
min
bruch
udas,
from
okay.
Kaddish Shabbat.
Okay, very nice. So very nice halachic point. So what does Rabbi Gamliel say? He says, why do we cover the challah? It's because it should teach you a lesson. That if for the
But
challah
the
you're
dog-
careful, that doesn't have
And a human
feelings,
being-
and you have to be careful because maybe the challah is going to be affected because you're doing a geffen on the
worry about
kiddush,
people's feelings.
then you should be worried about your own brother. But if when you dafka cover the challah now, and you scream at your brother, you didn't understand anything. So we see also this importance that HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts a lot of importance between friendship.
But it's an inanimate
Achdut.
object of challah. The challah has no feelings.
Yeah, so if the challah has no feelings, then and you're careful with this.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing to cover it, no?
No,
No, but that's what I'm telling you
there is
because
other-
this is
there's
the
other-
action that
there-
There
teaches
must be
you.
a different other interpretation.
So I will tell you another thing why you cover the challah. I'm
For the
allowed to
man,
say
yeah, for the
because
man,
it's Zeicher Lamon. Because Shabbat there was falling two portions.
Yeah.
Because you
One,
can
because you couldn't pick up on
you can
Shabbos.
pick up a Shabbos. So a Zeicher, a remembrance.
What is-
because
why
of
cover
the
it?
nest
Yeah.
that was falling.
That's
two
for the mission.
portions.
That's for
No,
the
because
The mission also two covers.
no, because it was
So
covered.
Where's the second
It says the
cover?
man was covered from the top and the bottom.
The tablecloth.
So that's why some people hold that you have to have like a basket, like a covered basket, and then you cover it on top. But anyways, nevertheless, this last message to say that we have to be careful about other people's feelings, about animals. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to live in this world in a good, mensch, beautiful, nice way. And therefore, this is by serving Him and by being good to people around us, by following the Torah. So, Chazak Baruch. Thank you
Thank you very much.
Shkayach.
Okay, one thing I gotta say, you guys are very bad customers. Like, where's